Hey, how are you? Back from the dead after my regular annual hiatus from posting anything due to pure procrastination. I'm back, and today I'm going to do a trailer review. Can't be called a reaction because I've watched it a couple of times in the last week or so. Um, so yeah, it's just going to be a review. So I'm just going to watch it again and just to, refresh my memory. And it's for the Exorcist Believer. So yeah, the long-awaited sequel to The Exorcist. Well, another one at least, because Exorcist 3 was a direct sequel. Exorcist 2: The Heretic was technically a sequel, but let's not talk about that fucking bag of shit. Okay, so The Exorcist Believer. Let's get cracky-lacking.
Good day. You be home by dinner.
I love you. Good morning, Mr. Fielding.
Morning, Captain.
She's really happy to be at school. Come on.
Took care of your daughters, Angela and Catherine, about 7 hours ago, and that's the last information we have.
Catherine!
Angela?
If you can hear this, we love you. Please come home.
Okay, so they're doing a seance in the woods or something.
Hey, Padre. What are you and Catherine doing out there in those woods?
We were just walking and walking. It's fine. Angela, can you tell your dad how long you were gone?
A few hours.
Baby, you've been gone 3 days.
I like how the music stopped. It's like dun dun dun. You've been gone 3 days. No, there's a cock tease with the music.
What did you say?
I didn't say nothing.
Bitch, I'm brushing my teeth. Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, baby. You okay?
Do I need plastic surgery, Mom? Okay.
Whatever those girls went, they brought something back with them. The body and the blood of Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Come play with us, Danny. Forever and ever.
Catherine. The body in the blood. The body in the blood. The body in the blood. Catherine. The body in the blood. The body in the blood.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
Mommy?
No, but there are.
Yeah, she's
people out
obviously got something else going on that's not medical. Hey.
You
Oh, Christ, yeah.
Sleep position.
there. Yes, what did I like?
I believe you can help get our girls back.
Fuck.
Exorcism is a
Oh,
ritual.
see in the
Every
Bible.
culture, every religion, they all use different methods. It's when you take all of them.
Don't be scared.
We've met before.
Have you though?
What did you do?
Is that Catherine's heartbeat? They're beating in sync.
God played a trick on you.
Okay, that's what that was. From a purely cinematic point of view, just going in there, as looking at it as a trailer, as a film, regardless of franchise attachments and whatnot, that just looked like a generic possession movie. They've linked it to the Exorcist by having fucking Ellen Burstyn in there. What she'd know about exorcism, because Reagan had it, her daughter, but she wasn't really involved in it. She was just kind of like screaming in the background, when her daughter was like, you know, getting brutalized by Pazuzu. So when she says something like, "Oh, we've met before," but she's pretty much the only cast member that's still alive or who agreed to return. I'm guessing they asked Linda Blair maybe, because if they got Linda Blair to come back, and she was like previously possessed by the same demon, that'd have been a bit more interesting of a dynamic. It's like, you know, I was possessed by the same demon. I'd give you a bit more insight, but I've heard that Linda Blair was a technical consultant on the film. What the fuck? She's like a technical advisor, maybe. It's the same difference, but what technical aspects is she going to advise them on? It's like, you know, this is how you stick the cross up your crack, you know. Yeah. So so there's two of them that are possessed by the same demon in this. Okay, great. Yeah, that trailer's, like I said, it's completely generic. All little flashes towards the end, trying to build up like scary momentum, like ah, and they use that same kind of grainy white fade out effect towards the end in that trailer. That's what they used in the original Exorcist trailer. You know, trying to associate it with the original Exorcist by doing that. And one of the final shots was very reminiscent of like Pazuzu, you know, that iconic like, you know, flash in the original Exorcist movies. But yeah, I mean, The Exorcist, was it 50 years ago? And that was like, for its time, it was pretty much no one had ever seen anything like that before to that extent, you know, like Jesus fuck you and all that. It's like, fucking hell. I mean, that's a shocking shit even today to see. So, but you know, 50 years since then, there's been how many possession films? Most of them centered around young girls or young women. I mean, Christ, it's fucking, what was it? Exorcism of Emily Rose, The Last Exorcism, fucking Stop or My Priest Will Exorcise You. Oh shit. Dude, where's my Bible? But yeah, this is I've heard this is done by the same dude that the Halloween reboots, like, you know, the re-sequel to the original Halloween, yeah, like Halloween 2018, and the subsequent other two films, which personally I thought was shy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Halloween the original anyway, but this was just like another Halloween sequel, Halloween 2018. And there's been like fucking Christ, there was over 10 of those, isn't there? Before 2018 came along. And yeah, but they were successful. They made the money, and the sequel. So that's like a new trilogy, which is apparently what's being planned for this. This is the first of a trilogy. They've even got the date pending for the sequel, the release date, even though they've not made the fucker yet. And depending on how well this movie does financially, you know, it's not guaranteed that they will make the fucker. So, you know, hubris. And can you call it a trilogy? I mean, do they have they got like a one story that needs to be broken into 3 segments, or is this just gonna be like, oh, we'll see how this one does, and then we'll do a couple of sequels to it, you know, just to milk it, which is not a trilogy, by the way. I mean, Lord of the Rings was a trilogy because it was a complete story that was broken up into 3 pieces, and I'm pretty sure that's what kicked off the trilogy craze for the 21st century, maybe, because like every fucking film that comes along, oh, it's going to be a new trilogy. It's like, fuck off, just make a good film. Then, like, you know, if you've got a good idea for a follow-up to it, do it. Don't start saying, oh, we're going to make 6 of these fucking films, we're going to build a universe, and we're going to do this and that and this and that. Anyway, kind of straying off the track a bit. I can't really think what much to say. There's nothing about that that stood out from any other like film of that ilk that's been out in the last 20 years. You know, there's the Conjurings and the Insidious films and all those trailers, they're all presented the same, like, oh, flash cut, like, screen bits and blah, blah, blah. And Ellen Bernstein being shoehorned in there to, like, you know, as some connective tissue to the original Exorcist. It's, I know the rest of the, like I said, Linda Blair would have been a lot more interesting, but surely they must have asked her before Ellen Bernstein. She'll have told them to fuck off, maybe. But if that's the case, then why is she like a technical advisor on the movie? If she, that's just what I've heard. But yeah, did it look good? It looks like what it was. Will I go and see it? I might go and see it just because my son's never seen an Exorcist film, so I might bung the original one on for him. And then we'll go and see this at Flakes just for a laugh, you know. But yeah, The Exorcist Believer. Can't say it made me a believer. It just made me more of a pessimist in regards to the Hollywood fucking meat wheel. You know, taking all these intellectual properties and seeing if they can milk a bit more out of them. Like I said, they did it with Halloween. There was like in the early 2000s, there was a spate of remakes. There was The Fog, the fucking Nightmare on Elm Street, The Thing, which was a prequel but essentially a remake. This originally was intended to be a remake or reboot, as they say these days. Then they changed their minds and said, "Oh, let's make it a sequel or a requel." Yeah, that's the fucking thing that it's thrown about these days. Yeah, that was The Exorcist Believer. Did it make me a believer? No. I believe it will make the money and the sequel will go ahead. I'm guessing that because if Halloween was a big success financially, the two films followed up from that, so there's no reason why this won't fucking carry on. I mean, people go and see it like the reason I said just for a giggle, just because it's got the Exorcist name on it. I mean, if this film was just called Believer or Two Girls, One Fucking Crucifix, it just like it just like disappear into the miasma of all other possession films. So yeah, it's just purely trading on the name, the brand, which is what Hollywood's been doing for fucking years, sadly. But you know, saying that, I might be wrong. This might be a really good film. Probably won't be. But if it is, I'll look like a right cunt now when I saw you. So yeah, anyway, that was a trailer review for The Exorcist Believer, coming out in October, oddly enough. Okay, so until next time, don't let Jesus fuck you, unless he wears a rubber.